What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we'll see Spider-Man 2 gameplay in 2022. Now, I thought I was done with this series of should we expect something or not expect something in this year, but you know what? I thought of Spider-Man, and I thought it was too good to pass up. Because this one, to me, is like a coin toss. I could very easily see the entire year going by, if you can believe it. I can see the entire year going by and having nothing on Spider-Man. At the same time, I could very easily see them dropping something like gameplay. I feel like them doing something makes the most sense. But in order to do that, though, in my opinion, we have to understand how Sony would break down this year, okay? In my opinion, this is something that I would think would be completely reserved for the second half of the year, like the fall, and probably a Sony exclusive event, right? And by that I mean not the Game Awards, because I guess it could, and you go back in time, and there's definitely been plenty of stuff that Sony and Jeff Keighley have worked on, but I just feel like specifically over the last couple years, something as big as showing Spider-Man 2 gameplay would probably be reserved to just a Sony thing. Now, the reason I say the second half of the year is because I think, again, priorities need to be on what's coming out right now, and there is some other stuff here and there. So what we really have, right, is Horizon, Sifu, God of War, all of those things. You know, a lot of people, well, see, I don't know when this video necessarily goes up, but say they have announced or they will announce a state of play in early February, right? That would cover the smaller things, but also what's coming out like immediately. Then if there's one in March or April or whatever, that would be the first half of the year, right? A big one in the same way that the last one was with Spider-Man, with Wolverine, when they showed God of War. It would be like that. But the thing is, at that event, you'd probably do God of War. You'd probably also do something like The Last of Us, because again, while Spider-Man 2 is known, it's, like people have seen it once, and we know they're working on it. Games like The Last of Us Remake, The Last of Us 2's multiplayer, or just The Last of Us multiplayer, whatever it's going to be, things like that, we do probably know they're working on it, but they've never said it officially, and they probably come out first. So I would just imagine I guess that's just my mindset, is the first half of the year is going to be very focused on the things that we already know, and also the things that we think we know and that are releasing relatively soon, like The Last of Us, like, I guess, all of the things Last of Us, because there's obviously going to be a lot of them. Now, once we get to the second half of the year, that, and as I've talked about in the past with Sony, one of the things that makes me excited for Sony is a lot of the things we just have no idea, right? There's a lot of studios making things. You even have like their third party or second party now relationships with these studios that have formed, and they're working away daily, right? And it's just we haven't seen anything, or we don't even know what they're making in the first place. And these are all things that are going to come in the next little while. I mean, some things are obviously going to take longer than others. So like for Spider-Man, obviously they said, 2023. So I think it's going to probably be around the exact same time we got the first game. Okay, so Spider-Man 2 would probably be around September, or the fall period, and you'd probably do it for the simple reasoning of it's your holiday game. It's a game you can ride for months. It's a game that's going to sell PS5s on year 4 or so of the PS5 being out. So, that's why I would do it, and that's what I easily think would happen. So we're still a year and a half, a little bit more than that, off from the game releasing. And then even this upcoming fall, though, that's where now we reach that barrier, that mark, right? Do they show something? It depends on the game, right? Because I was going to say sometimes it's characteristic of Sony to do something like that, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes Sony can let it go up until, the year it releases. So if the game comes out in September of next year, and Sony's second big PlayStation event of 2022, say, is also in September, full year away, is it time to show gameplay? Because then, do you take another 6-month break from there, and then you keep going? I mean, I think that makes sense. I think you could realistically do that. But again, you have a lot. I mean, you could do like a Sly thing. I've talked a lot about Sly Cooper on the channel, right? Sly could easily be something you do in the second half of this upcoming year. An Uncharted thing. Is there like a new Uncharted? I mean, and there's a lot of these studios, right, that are working on more than one game. So like maybe we can see the second game from one of these studios, that we can imagine they're working on. So I would say, to give an answer, or to give a prediction, this is my prediction time. I would say I would bet on seeing the game this year. I don't think we're going to see it in the first half of this year. I don't really think it makes sense to. Specifically, again, just because, like, if there is an event in the first half of this year, it's probably not going to be something to show the very, very far out future. It'll be something to show very big things like the size of Spider-Man, but not that distant. You know what I mean? God of War, giving the release date, saying God of War comes out in October, showing PSVR 2. Remember, PSVR 2 is coming out this year. Like, it's going to come out this fall. So, like, that is probably going to be a huge aspect of it. Showing maybe there's a Spider-Man VR game. In fact, they'd be stupid to not do a Spider-Man VR game, right? And in fact, I want to make a video on that, secondly, or, later on down the line. But, I think something like that, and to have it kind of release around the same time as the PSVR 2. So I'm obviously focusing a lot on that. But like I said, then you have The Last of Us. You also have surprises, if there's any Sony surprise that comes out in the second half of this year besides God of War, right? Because there probably is maybe one more at least. So you would probably show that and talk about it. So I think that's going to be the main focus of whatever the big event of the first half of the year, is going to be. That's what they're going to focus on. And then the second half, I could very easily see them literally just duplicating what they did last year, where they show, here's some games that are a little far out. You know what I mean? Let's show Spider-Man, which is only a year out. We'll show you a couple other games that could come out next year. Maybe we'll show you a game or two that could come out in maybe it's like Wolverine is probably 2024, if not later. So like this year, they could do the same thing. Say, hey, here's a game, but it's 2 years away at least. Maybe it's even longer. So I think that makes more sense towards the end of this year to talk about those games. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go out. Obviously, if there's any ever leaks or rumors or official information on Spider-Man 2 or any Marvel game, I'm sure to cover it on the channel. If you want to support me anywhere else, I have a Twitter. I have a second YouTube channel. I also have Patreon and YouTube memberships. Links for them all are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.